Good morning, sir. Good morning to all. Myself, Dr. Parvataru Kalakonda, Assistant Professor in Physics, Department of Physics, Osman University. So I did my master from University of Hyderabad and MS from WPI. I also did my PhD from WPI and postdoc from Carnegie Mellon University, USA, Coast, KSA. And I also did. I was also there in IISc Bangalore for a few months as a research associate. So, uh, outline of my talk, I'm going to cover first background of this plasma technology, then introduction to my. I'm going to give an introduction and what is the introduction, what are the discoveries about this, and then I'm going to motivate you why we have to do that. Then I'm going to discuss the characteristics of plasma, then applications. Then if you have any queries, I'm going to answer those questions. Uh, right. So then, uh, so so let me discuss. Matter is made up with tiny particles. I mean, what is matter? Matter is always it's made up with tiny particle, which we call it as a atom. Uh, what is a substance? The matter substance should be one type of atom basically, which always contain the one like silver atoms or gold atoms. It's not a mixture of the atoms. Uh, the substance which does not have a mass, what we have to do? We are saying that the second point, the importance is the substance which has the one type of atom. Oh, it's also matter basically, but it's a one substance means it contain only like atoms, like same atoms. But if it has a if it doesn't have a atoms, there is a substance which doesn't have a atoms. What do we call it? Anybody answer? Yeah, it's like photon. I think you have heard about light energy, heat energy, gravitational energy. All these are the heat energy carried by phonons, light energy carried by the photons, and gravitational energy carried by gravitons. And coming to the states of matter, we all know that the four states of matter. So as you know that liquid, solids, liquid, gases and plasma. How do we get from one phase to other phase? By heating, by giving the energy. So as you increasing the energy, heat energy, the solid
Raised 20
melts into
rupees in
liquid.
1 hour
Then
with 4
the liquid can
kilometers.
convert into the gas, then plasma. You can also vice versa. You can also get it back to the solid. Uh, so who discovered this plasma? The plasma was first identified by in a Crook tube described by Sir William Crook in 1879. Then the term plasma was actually coined by the Irwin Longmire in 1828. You can clearly see when you see the transformation from the gaseous state to the plasma state. In gaseous state we have the molecules. When you apply the heat, the molecules split into atoms, and then atoms again split into ions, which means suppose given atom, hydrogen is one atom, let us say, oxygen has 8 protons and 8 electrons. So they split into 8 protons and 8 electrons. So they become ionized. So it becomes ionized gas. So what is we call it as a plasma state. As you can see clearly how the transformation takes place from solid state to the plasma state. So this is, here you have a block of like crystal, you can say. When you melt it and it becomes liquid crystal, then when you melt it, it becomes ions, gas molecules. Then when you see that becomes plasma. So we have two types of plasma: cold plasma, which you can see only 3000 Kelvin, or hot plasma, which you can see 10 power 6 K. So how do we get the plasma? So you can obtain it by RC discharge by applying a voltage 220 10 power minus 3 pressure. And the coal plasma can be used in food processing, like killing the bacteria on the food, and treatment, surface treatment of material, gold coating, etc. And you can see what is the importance, why we need to do it, what is the motivation behind it. I want to do research. Why? So the increasing industrialization and urbanization and changes in the pattern of life and gives rise to the generation of increasing the tons of waste in day-to-day life. Right? You can see that it treats you environment. The environment becomes very bad, and the pollution becomes very high. So that you can see clearly, the wastage. You can see tons of we are producing a day-to-day life for our regular purpose. Even medical waste is very dangerous, and you can also see that medical waste is very dangerous, especially corona period. We are just throwing the syringes, gloves, injections, whatever the stuff that we use for the corona patient, just dumping it, but it's going to poison the ground too. So which we have to be very careful. Every year, about 55 million tons of municipal solid waste and 38 million liters of sewage are generated in the form of in urban areas in India, which is very huge amount of that. Okay. And in addition that, large quantities of solid and liquid waste are also generated by industries like pharmaceutical industry, etc. And you can see that just dumping it, they're just throwing out, which is very dangerous. We are going to poison, we're going to pollute the water in the ground. There are some techniques to produce the electricity from the waste. As you can, Ketion mentioned recently, they started one, and there are a lot of techniques are there. Although the most burn technology, like you're burning the mass, continue to waste energy plants. There's some more required. The plasma is one of the greatest technology, which is a very efficient, environmentally responsible from the thermal treatment of waste, which is very, you can see how they're throwing the stuff in the Ganga, Yamuna, rivers, everywhere, which is very dangerous. So where do we find it? The example of plasma of earth. So it can be, you can get the like soft plasma, which is very low temperature range, which is you can see everywhere in the world, everywhere around you actually, lightning, neon, fluorescent laboratory experiment, and you can see clearly lightning effect. Why lightning effect is there? When the two clouds collide, there's a charge generated, static charge, which could be recharged through the ground by the form of the lightning. You can also see an example of astrophysical plasma. Sun, everywhere, around sun, there's a huge amount of plasma. Around stars, there's a lot of, plasma around it. Why we are interested to plasma? To control the waste solid management in big cities like in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai. It's very urgent, it's a very burning issue to control this. So we have to work on this research to prevent the pollution. And you can see understanding the plasma help us to understand the stars and stellar evolution and fusion energy around the sun and moon. So it's a potential resource for us to increase the whole energy. And you know that, you see, this is you can see lot of huge amount of plasma. You can see around also star. This is the nebula is a sun star, where you can see lot of Tokamak is one of the biggest the turbine, the design world started a few years back, and already started in Japan. In India, Ahmedabad, they started this Plasma Research Center, and it is a powerful technique, and a powerful magnetic field they apply to confine the plasma, because very high, huge amount of temperature, which is very dangerous. So with the help of magnetic field, they control that, and you can see here red line how they're controlling around it just flow in this in a toroid path. Okay, it is a confinement device which is very important, with which you can produce the huge amount of electricity. So you can see this is the London they started. treatment, and this is the, you can, India, they were designed like this to make many device or furnace where you can keep dump yards everywhere. You can place this everywhere, India hospitals everywhere. And future of plasma, what is the future? Lot of research need to done. This is a really great area to begin research. New era of research, development, great features, wide range of application, powerful energy source. I mean, I think it's a good, area to begin the research for the next generation students. I can see there are a lot of applications in all fields. I think it's a good field to begin. LCD publications, surface treatment, food industry, semiconductor industry, all devices. It's very important. And why is the fusion energy? It's a very huge amount of energy, which is very essential. The main idea is to produce the green energy without any pollution. And questions, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you have any question, please let me know. We'll discuss. So